To cap Week 18, Vikings, Lions at stake. No big deal, just the number one seed in the NFC, a bye, division title. Dan Campbell made an interesting comment about the matchup, Colin.
We're all excited. I mean, this is exciting, but it's not like it's the playoffs, you know. We all know what the prize is, and that's the Super Bowl. Well, you know, you try to set yourself up the best you can, and that's why you put those goals out there.
It's not like it's the playoffs. This is a playoff game. If you win, Vikings or Lions, number one seed by all that trappings. If you lose, you go on the road in the first round and face Tampa. Well, Tampa beat Detroit in Detroit earlier this year.
But I will say, the one thing offensively that travels is a dominant O-line run game. With all the new technology in the helmets and the way teams travel now, the road's about a point and a half. It's not 3.5 to 4. So you're about a point deficit going on the road. You lost, so you have that as motivation. And that offensive line, two things travel in the NFL: a great defense and a dominant run game. Passing games don't travel well. It's based on weather. Where do you play? Is it windy? But that dominant Detroit run, O-line, and now Montgomery's coming back.
Well, maybe coming back. Maybe. I love your optimism.
Well, I mean, that's what the announcer said, and that's what the internet's saying. You know, it's always right.
Lions minus 2.5. Short week. I mean, they played you could say a tough one in San Francisco, across the country on Monday night. I'm a little surprised the Lions are favored here, Colin. I kind of like the Vikings in this game. What about you?
I think the Lions have the better roster. I mean, seriously, I think they have a better roster, and I think they're getting slightly healthier every week. I mean, they said Montgomery may play in this game. Listen, Minnesota is...
Why don't you win this game, give him an extra week, then use Montgomery in a couple weeks? I saw guys coming back from a broken arm on defense.
Yeah.
Like, they're getting healthier.
They're getting healthier.
That Vikings team right now, Brian Flores, that defense. Ooh.
Yeah, but Goff's been in the league a while. Brian Flores is upending a lot of inexperienced quarterbacks. Goff's been in this league a long time. He's going to be less vulnerable to a great defensive coordinator than a younger quarterback. It's hard to bet against Detroit. You watch them at San Francisco and just take that.
They're a covering machine, yeah.
I mean, that's what they do.
All right, let's talk about this. First off, some of like the doubt, like, first off, this is not a playoff game. So what Dan Campbell's saying is 100% correct. All right, because he's not saying this is a playoff game. No, a playoff game is if you lose, you're done. All right, that's what a playoff game is. Now, does it have huge implications? And do you want to win this game? Absolutely. Absolutely. But you don't want to, if you lose this game, now have it feel like the Lions are now on their back foot. Because they wouldn't be. It would just be a regular season game that they lost. So yeah, you're going to prepare and play and kind of treat it like the playoffs. But you're not going to send that message to your entire team. This is the playoffs, this is the playoffs, this is the playoffs. Because if you lose, like I said, then it's just like, what does that do for your spirits? Well, we just lost a playoff game. And you're not going to want that. And okay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Lions, 2 months ago. Like, who cares? Like again, who cares? That was not the Lions team that we know them to be today. Not even close. The Lions had a slow start to their season. Undeniable, especially when you look and see what they've been able to do as the weeks went on. They got off to a slow, rusty start, for sure. For sure. And that Bucs game was part of it. So they don't care. You think the Lions are afraid? You think the Lions are like, we got to win this game? Because if we don't, we got to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? That's what the Lions are afraid of? Like, what? I'm not telling you that that's going to be a walk in the park game. I'm not telling you that it's like they don't even got to prepare. They just got to show up. Like, I'm not making that argument. But considering who the Lions are and who they believe and know them to be, their mentality is, yeah, we want to get after this. We want to win this game so we can get home field advantage and, get that bye. That is what we want. That is what we feel we deserve. Not only do we deserve it, we are owed it. That's how great we are. Let's get after it. Let's prove it. And if not, okay. So what? So what? Fine, bet against us. You think the Buccaneers are going to beat us? You think the Rams are going to beat us? You think the Vikings are going to beat us again? You think the Eagles are going to beat us? The Packers? The Commanders? Stop. Stop. That's the Lions mentality. That is who the Lions have been week after week after week after week. Win or lose. Win or lose. So that statement that Dan Campbell made makes 100% sense. 100% sense. You are not going to tell your team that this is a playoff game where if you lose, you now have everyone just like gutted. This is a regular season game. There's a lot at stake, undeniable. But there's still other games. When you talk about some of these other games where you say it's a playoff, this is a playoff game, it's like they got to win because if they don't, then they don't make it to the playoffs. The Falcons versus the Commanders, that was a playoff game. You have to get that win. Like that matters. And you know what? If you lose that game, you should be gutted. You should be depressed. You should be angry. And now you do have to pray to the football gods to have this team lose and that team lose. Like a lot needs to happen. That makes sense. That makes sense. Heck, if the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills were playing final game of the season, winner gets the 1 seed, not a playoff game. And those are the definition of 2 playoff teams with history and everything. It's a game you want to win. It's a game you're going to go all out to win. It's not the playoffs. I think the Lions, considering how their season has unfolded and how some of the injuries and all of that, I think some concerns, this is what I've said a lot and for the last couple of weeks about the Lions. I think some concerns make 100% sense. But it's the confidence that some of these guys bring with their actual doubt. So many people in the comment section, and it's actually kind of a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. You see a lot of people be like, oh, that's right, doubt this team. Keep sleeping on this team. Keep sleeping on the Lions. Keep doubting the Lions. Keep this. And it's like, and they're not necessarily talking to me directly. They'll usually talk to other people. And it's not just about the Lions. This is like any team. And it's just like, no one's doubting this team. No one's sleeping on this team. They're just saying, hey, there's some concerns here, or, you know, this team is not a juggernaut. Like, it's like fans, anything short of saying that this is the greatest team in the history of the world, people are like, yeah, you keep doubting what we can do. And it's like, no, that's not the case. Like, this is actual doubt. This is actual, not like, oh, yeah, I have some concerns because of health and this, and, you know, playing the Vikings is going to be a tough game, and you know what, going up against the Bucs on the road will be a harder game. This is like, I don't know. The Lions face the Buccaneers in the playoffs, like, I think the Lions are in trouble. That's actual doubt. That's actual sleeping on the Lions. Like, we overuse hater, we overuse doubt, you know, sleeping on. We overuse those words way too much, especially hater. I think some concerns is 100% healthy. It makes sense, and I know a lot of Lions fans even have some concerns. They have their optimism and their hope, also understandable. But we cross this threshold now. It's like, nah. We gotta pull back the emotions here, which is why even Dan Campbell's like, I want to win this game. We are obviously doing everything we can. We're going to bring that level of intensity, but don't act like if we win this game, we're going to go to the Super Bowl now, and that if we lose, we have no chance. I take what you're selling. I take a look at it. I go, wow, this is cool. And then I throw it about 500 yards. I just Hulk chuck it, man. Like, do not care. This is great. Oh, this looks cool. Great. Whatever. I don't know, man. We got some extreme swings when we look at teams. Maybe I'm just inherently optimistic. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? about Dan Campbell and the Lions kind of treating this game, kind of saying it's exciting, but obviously not a playoff game, or the concerns where if they lose and now they don't have home field in the bye, that they're going to be, in trouble against some of these other teams. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.